Hey guys, would you like to learn how to start hacking your opponents with G4 in different positions? Look no further than this video where I'm going to show you how Alireza Firouzja got a very nice attacking position quite fast against Denis Lazovic in the Champions Chess Tour on chess.com. And in this, the normal move would just be to play like C4, Knight C3, and maybe delay like G4, G5, or H4 for a later moment. But Firouzja decides to go for the move G4 immediately, already asking, well, how are you going to deal with this kind of attack? If you take the pawn, rook G1, and, white is able to either get the pawn back with the rook coming into G7, or if they play a move like bishop F6, yeah, you might be a pawn up, but your piece is looking a bit awkward, right? And white can just push in the center with a strong attack. So in the game, black instead played the move of castles, castling the king. Well, we can't say to safety because the pawns are coming at the king. But yeah, a move like knight fd7 maybe is looking a little bit passive. So Lazovic played knight e4. Firouzja defended the pawn with h4, and black played c5. All of this is pretty standard, but here is where white decided to play quite creatively. A normal move would be to play something like c4 and maybe kick the knight away with d3 and just get a normal sort of position in this kind of way. But this opportunity is going to be fairly pleasant for black, with ideas of going for b5 or even hitting back on the king side with f6. So Firouzja decides to play quite creatively. Well done if you thought of this move of knight to c3 here. Black takes, and the idea is not to take with the bishop, but actually to take with the pawn, with the idea that we clear that square for the queen so we can castle long, just like it happened in the game. C4. B6 probably isn't the most precise. Like, computer is saying that to not be worse as black, you already kind of have to play like d4, and the idea is you sack a pawn, we kind of get some bishop b4 checks, and get sort of annoyed him in this way. Actually, not bishop b4 because of c3. Actually, it's queen a5 that is more the point. But okay, to see this in a rapid blitz game, it's not the easiest task, let's say, because it looks like you can't play d4 because it's just defended so many times, but turns out tactically you can. But if you don't play this as black, you're actually going to be worse. I think that really shows the practical power of white's system, where, white played queen d2, you could argue for other moves like rook g1 or bishop g2, but yeah, there's a lot of moves that are going to be good for white here. Because now after queen to c3, this battery is really asking black some pretty tough questions. f6, white played bishop takes c4. Again, you could argue maybe rook d1 hitting the queen first might be more precise, but still the position is very good for white. Knight a5, maybe not the best move, but it was already getting a bit tough. And now rook g1. And you can see how already after just 15 moves, all of the white pieces are in the attack, ready to open up the lines with g takes f6. And I can't really keep him close. Like f5, is just allowing a mate on g7. And you can't play e5 because of the pin. So this is kind of the problem. And if you play knight takes c4, which is probably what he should have done, you've still got problems with gf6, just the bishop and the rook coming into the attack. It's really, really tough for black to hold a position like this one, let's say, where you put the knight on e5, like the rook comes to d7, and black's king is so weak and the bishop just looks like a complete ghost. If you're enjoying the training, do make sure to like the video and also consider subscribing. But actually, the best part is yet to come. After king h8, there's a position that if you give black time to play like bishop e7, e5, rook d8, and get all the pieces developed, well, then black's position may not be all that bad. So it's important here to strike when the iron's hot, when all our pieces are well placed. And Firouzja did this with the move of h5. Now, if you want to play bishop e2, I anticipate bishop e7, like, you can argue for this as well, but Firouzja's h5 is the best move here. After queen h5, gf6, note that if black were to play a move like bishop f6, we actually have a very beautiful queen sacrifice. Queen takes f6. And whichever way they take back, they basically get mated in this instance. So it means that, either they run into like bishop takes f6 and, they mate this way, or, the other way around, rook f6, rook d8. So Lazovic plays rook f6, we have bishop e2, bishop a6. And it's here that Firouzja found a very beautiful way to win the game. Can you find it as well? Let's see who finds it by seeing what move you would play as white in the comments below. And see if you can play in the spirit of Alireza Firouzja, the great attacking player. So what he did was he played the move of rook takes g7. Of course, you know, playing like into this would kind of just play into black's hands, you could say, with black having the mate threat. But rook g7 is just a really fantastic blow. Like, they can't really ignore the rook. Like, if you take the bishop, like, you're just, you know, getting there first on the king side, as it were. As my mouse is going a little crazy for some reason. But yeah, you get the idea. And yeah, after king g7, the point is rook d7. And we're not just threatening the bishop, but we're also threatening queen f6. So, for example, I can't just defend the bishop like this, so we just take and just give checkmate with the crisscross applesauce of pins. And if you play like king f8, I mean, you can even just like take anyway, and you know the attack is just still just flowing so well. Like in the worst case here, you can even like take the bishop actually, because your knight's defended, you're threatening mate, and you're also up material. You just have all of the good stuff here. And again, black played queen f7, and after white's next move of knight to g5, even though black is up a full rook, black actually resigned here. Because you just don't have any good options in a position like this after knight g5. Like, if you go queen e8, like, white just goes queen f6 and uses the pin to mate again. If you play queen f8, well, knight e6, and again, the pin is a problem. If you move the queen anywhere else, you're going to lose the bishop, but if you keep the queen in place, you lose the queen, and that's no good either. And you can even add this to add insult to injury, but yeah, basically it's just game over. So yeah, that was a very beautiful game by Duda, Firouzja against Lazovic. I hope that you enjoyed it, and yeah, I will see you in the next training. Until then, take care.